the whole point here is the camera is only the beginning. The real power is in the network itself, specifically because Flock markets cross-jurisdictional connectivity to thousands of agencies. Literally, they're using the term nationwide network, like they're AT&T or something. They're breaking barriers that were not there in the past. They're cross-state barriers, right? The state lines don't matter in this instance when it comes to Flock. They can surveil in every single state and sell that to anyone who wants it. Nothing is stopping them currently in that, and which brings me to the point that you were about to jump on. Government surveillance is scary, right? But at least it comes with a defined target for oversight.
Yes.
Commercial surveillance creates a fog, right? The data lives in systems built by a private vendor, controlled by whoever's bought it, and is shared across networks that citizens often can't see. So you kind of have a separate private, it almost reminds me of the Pinkertons. You remember the Pinkertons? Before there was the Secret Service and before there was, the FBI and stuff like that, there were the Pinkertons. And let's talk about the Pinkertons for a bit because they were corrupt as all get out. What started as a great idea of, hey, we're a special service that can provide you security and make you safe, turned into basically a semi-state endorsed corporate mafia that, especially during the boom era, when there was the expansion west and you had these railroad robber barons and everyone else, they would send Pinkertons under the auspices of protecting their corporate assets and basically send thugs that would beat up anyone who got in their way, right? And it was a little hard. In fact, fun fact, the Pinkertons, it is now illegal for any Pinkerton to enter the state of Ohio and operate there. There you go. Now, they've since gone the way of the dodo. I think last I checked on them, they're owned by a Swiss company or whatever they turned into. They're owned by the Swiss. The Pinkertons are done. But there was a time in the United States where there was this private corporate entity that was providing basically government bagman services that was uncontrollable and really caused some legitimate harm if you look into their rather dark history. Here we have Flock that is almost in the same way acting like a government intelligence agency without even being a government collection intelligence agency, right? They're a separate organization that is out there that anybody can buy access to this data set and use it however they want. And what I think is rather interesting and what I'd like to know from, and there's been even more concern. That's not to say there hasn't been concern from organizations that see this and know that it's happening. For example, the ACLU has publicly criticized these license plate recognition cameras and capabilities and how the data sharing is getting a little out of hand. But it doesn't seem to be stopping. Dustin, talk to me about the types of organizations that are using this and how the government's involved and what you think should change here, especially as, like I said, I'm not saying it's a government collection agency because I don't want to take the words out of my mouth the wrong way. This is an organization that is creating a product that is rife for abuse.
Yes.
What are your concerns there?